Good morning. It's Harvey Jackson from Sea Grain Marketing. Just go over Sask Ag and Manitoba Ag crop harvest progress. First off, I'll maybe I think it's 9% total, but you can see that there is maybe 8% barley, and of course your winter crops are starting to come off. But you can see that some lentils and field peas are starting to come off as well in the 28 and 26 respectively. Here's where the progress is, and it probably makes a lot of sense. There was lot of heat in this area too, as that heat built. The crops started to dry up and mature. This is where NVDI is not being used at all. It's might use it as a comparison from one year to the next, as far as maturity, but that's about all you would ever use it for. Uh, Rainfall, we did get some rainfall in that uh, uh, Humboldt, Weyburn, and so the northeast, of course, of Saskatchewan and some other pockets as well. But a good part of the province stayed dry. So in Manitoba, there's a little bit of harvest that's happened, and a lot of time here it shows us the winter cereals as well, with harvest and a little bit of barley, and but only total of 1%. And as far as quality, you can see that there is a good to excellent in a lot of regions that in the uh, 80% or better. But we'll see what kind of actual quality of grain as that comes in, as we had a fusarium risk, of course, and whether that grain is actually going to hold up if we get some heat. Just at the final stages, we're seeing some of that problems in other areas, of course. Uh, Thought I would just show you like we're near normal in a lot of regions of growing degree days, and that's actually a good thing because um, when you look back, the corn or the soybeans, which is a long growing season, needs a fair bit. And another map that I want to maybe just put in front of us as well is with green soybeans growing in kind of like that region anyway, or a little bit higher, of course, but um, the the frost risk is still there in some of those regions, and that's taken us right. Let's take it back into the 10th or 20th of September for a 25% risk, and I don't know what global warming means to something that's got a date from 61 to 2012. I'm sure these maps are a little bit different than it's stated here. You can see that the moisture actually hit the prime Manitoba soybean growing area, so um, it's likely to actually boost some yields with that top pod fill in the soybeans, of course. You can see here with the temperature, it looks like again there's a north and west versus east, and the corn and soybeans are going to stay somewhat cool. I don't think that's actually going to delay things, but it could. But uh, like harvest should get pushed along in some of these other areas, of course. And you can see, the Black Sea region has actually got heat over there too, so their harvest has got to be moving along as well in the next 10 days, especially with those winter crops. Here's your precipitation, and a little bit absent in that cooler area. So I'm not calling out anything for corn and soybeans because their soil moisture is actually more than sufficient, and yeah, it looks like there's going to be some scattered rains. And just drilling into Saskatchewan, you can see that, or the provinces here, you can see that there's a little bit from Edmonton south to Calgary, but mostly on the west side. So there's going to be some rainfall, but very little across the provinces if this map actually comes to fruition with the next 7 days. Here you can see the heat is actually building into southern Saskatchewan and building a bit of a dome, I guess, if you. But that's where a lot of the crop is already dried out, so that should speed along some harvest progress for this next coming week. You can see the daily maximum temperatures. So even in the past 7 days is actually you know, probably aiding on harvest and drying down some crops. So let's just do a quick rundown on the pricing. Canola down near $7, rapeseed down near $10 a ton, soybean oil down zero point 0.4 of a cent to half a cent, palm oil slightly down, crude oil down a dollar and three quarters a barrel, and your soybeans down. Wheats are all on both sides of mixed, and the Canadian dollar slightly down as well. So if we drill in and have a look at the canola chart, um, the support that we made 3 or 4 days ago, we're trying to retest it here by the look of this, Now, again, if we can hold there and maybe get a bounce, that would be a great thing if that were to happen, right? Hopefully, it bounce off of those that 566 kind of level here. Rapeseed, uh, it, it it tested the 23.6 on the move up and retraced back to the beginning of August lows that it made, and it still has a little ways to make it down to previous longer term lows in the 6 months. Here, your soybean oil keeps on breaking lower. We're 37 in the front month, and yeah, it's just a little bit ugly. It's stair step down, stair step down, stair step down. Um, what and if you look at palm oil, we actually have maybe a possible a little bit of a hold to lift. And this line I put in here is longer term kind of support. So I would like to see if we can get through that and then use that as support or resistance, I should say. This is resistance, and if we can get above it, then it becomes a support line. Soybeans still making stair steps down lower, retesting the 3 days ago value. Soybean meal actually maybe has a little bit of a lift or maybe holding some of that soybeans from going down to get any cheaper than that sub $300 a short ton value. Wheat, we're so the spring wheat is actually still holding that support that was made back in July and hopefully we can continue to hold there. Again, we want to get above that 78.6 before I can actually say I'm bullish here. Uh, I left this retracement value in at its old value, and we're trading at it right now, and maybe slightly below it. And the same thing with the milling wheat. This is drilled in a little bit, but this is the 78.6 because milling wheat actually has a little bit more of a longer trend of actually going up higher and not retracing quite as low. So this 78.6 is actually equivalent to our current lows on the North America wheat. And again, we're going to get the NVDI information that's actually going to be backdating all the way to July, which is when the crop was growing the most vigorously to get the estimate of yield. That'll be coming out July 28th. And that's all I have for you today.